Hey guys, Apev here, and welcome to a very special video. Before we get started, I just want to point out, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk more about, if you like what you see in this video, how you can purchase one of these. A pre-made up, modded PSP with all the glory that I will be showing you in this video. These are Japanese imports that I have modded and put a ton of stuff on, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I am thinking about selling them for $200, but if you'd like to message me directly, I'm pretty sure I can get them out to you for $175 with shipping included. So leave a comment, or just keep in mind while you're watching this video if what you see is worth what I'm asking for this. Alright, so this whole adventure happened when I was going to Sweden and then to Germany, but on those big excursions I wanted something small and portable to play games on. And with that I realized I have my PSP Go. There's a lot of things I wanted to play on my PSP Go though, and a PSP Go infamously cannot play physical games. So I learned right before leaving how to mod this, and what I mean by that is putting custom firmware on it, which allows you to do a lot more than it was originally intended. I ended up putting a lot of games I already own onto this, and along with a bunch of music and some videos. So I actually watched those on the 9-hour plane trips across the ocean, and this came in really handy because a lot of my favorite games are PS2 era games which were ported onto these things. I got to play Star Wars The Force Unleashed, and ATV offered Fury Pro while on the go, which is pretty awesome. But this isn't exactly what this video is about. I wanted to go through my PSP, this is my original fat PSP, it's a 1001 version, and all the mods and crazy things that I've found to put on it. I never was much of a modder until I kind of learned at least about the PSP stuff. This was one of the first consoles that I've ever done anything with. Now, first off, I left it the same to keep it nostalgic. This is my old wallpaper, which is my character standing in PlayStation Home. But with custom firmware, I wanted to do custom themes, so I have this plugin, which is disabled right now, but once I enable it, it will enable the custom themes that I've installed on here. That's basically how you switch between standard themes and custom themes. And already we get a custom theme thing popping up. Let's make this actually look nice. There we go, much better. So that's one of the custom themes. I've installed a couple packs and picked out my favorite. For some reason with this custom firmware though, or at least how I set it up, there's a corrupted file in between each theme, and I cannot let me figure out how to fix that. But they aren't corrupted files, they're just kind of linked together. I don't know what the problem is there. Also, I actually installed digital comics while it was still out. So not only do I still have digital comics, but I have 3 comics that I installed that were free. And apparently most people don't have these, which I'm shocked by. I couldn't even find out where to download them online. So I think I'm one of the few people in the world who actually have digital comics on their PSP. But I wanted to figure out how to put more books and comics and whatnot on my PSP, which is when I learned about a app that you can install with custom firmware that's basically an ebook reader. Music, I hooked up this to my PS3 so I could have some playlists. General rock, pop is usually in the other category, and then Christian, which is usually like mostly punk and Christian rock. I put some videos on here just like I did on my PSP Go. I do have an official one that I bought, which is Ice Age from back in the day. Those old PlayStation commercials, if you might remember them, you know, with the VP of PlayStation, who isn't actually the VP of PlayStation. Also, with the imported PSPs, I had to go into recovery mode, yeah, there it is, and change the settings to make it appear American and also swap the circle and X button. So yeah, there was a lot of journeys, and I'm going to now put this SIM card in a slim PSP and also go on my computer to show you guys more of what I've done. So I don't exactly know what I'm going to be cutting around this video, but let me first just go through all the cool things that you can do with a PSP. Obviously, you have your official games here. You also have your fan translations that I've already done a video on. But you can also get some PlayStation 1 games that might have not been available in the PlayStation Store, but you can convert to an eBoot file because the PSP has a great PlayStation 1 emulator built into it. So I have some of those along with fan translated Japanese games. But what I really wanted to show you is the homebrew games. The homebrew community has kept the PSP alive forever, and I just wanted to show you guys some of these games. Some of them were really hard for me to find, which is another reason why I wanted to sell these PSPs to kind of preserve some of the homebrew games. There's even Minecraft PSP, which the fat version is good in creative mode, but the survival mode isn't very good. Along with emulators, using a PSP Slim as an emulator is great, especially with the D-pad that's on the Slim. That's why I mentioned the Slim. Some of these games up here can only be played on a Slim. That's why this Minecraft PSP 1000 mode, you can't open chests and it's a lot more limited than the Slim. But using this as a PSP emulator, or GBA emulator, while GBA prices are insane, or using it to play homebrew GBA games, it's great for that, along with all these other emulators I got here. So let me start going through them. This Cave Story mod is really cool, but it's literally just Cave Story, so I'm not sure if I'd be showing you too much there. They do have Halo, which is pretty impressive. This is the only Halo that I found available. Apparently someone was trying to make Halo for the PSP and it got a cease and desist. So this here is just a mod based off of another mod. I think it uses a emulated Quake engine or something. This just has a multiplayer. You can play it with bots, or you can actually play it with friends in a local ad hoc mode. Alright, so here we are. Yes, it is Halo. Yes, it is on a PSP. Now, as someone who didn't grow up playing Halo, I have no idea if any of the maps in this are in any of the Halos, but it's cool. You got all the weapons and you can fight enemies and whatnot. And it works a lot like the Counter-Strike game, if you saw that there. Basically, to add in enemies, you just go down here to add bot. And now there's a bot. Okay, here are the enemies. I think they actually fight each other. Are we like in a free-for-all? Oh, I guess I got them. Oh gosh. So yes, it is Halo. Now the Counter-Strike mod is a bit more in-depth, and it's got a lot more to it. Sadly, there's a lot of spaces for weapons to be there, but they just don't exist when you go to buy weapons. But there is a good chunk of them still there. I actually installed this on this PSP Slim and on a PSP Go and was able to fight myself because I have no friends. Now this is a bit interesting. A lot of these games do this where the analog stick is to look, because that's the most familiar, but it's in your left hand, and then the buttons are to walk forwards. But it's a complete recreation of Counter-Strike. It's pretty impressive. And then you go to buy stations to buy some different weapons. Again, not all the weapons are there, so you're going to have to test out what exists and what doesn't exist. Now, the Half-Life mod is really cool. You can probably look up a couple other people playing it. I'm not going to play it because sadly you can't get very far into it. It's very broken, and basically you have to look up a mod into how to clip through all the doors that just refuse to open. It's cool to occasionally see Half-Life on a PSP. I just wish whoever made it would come back to it and just fix up the problems, because it's there. There's just too many glitches that have made it unplayable. Now, finally, Minecraft. I've been wanting to show this off for a while because it's legit just Minecraft on a PSP. The attention to detail in this is crazy. So, when Minecraft first came out, everyone wanted to play it portably because it wasn't available on anything else. So, somebody made Lamecraft, and this is a mod of Lamecraft. It's so impressive. And I guess just because Minecraft's gone so big, no one has bothered to look at this because this came out like 8 years after the original mod came out. So here we are, it's Minecraft. The map isn't procedurally generated, so you have limited space. But the only things that it's limited on a lot of the survival things. So like there are animals, but I can't for the life of me get them to breed. So mainly the only farm you can create is one of wheat, and you can keep making bread. That's what I've done in one of my worlds, is I'm sustaining myself off bread. I also can't figure out how to plant more trees, which could become a problem. But the Minecraft music is here. The like little cubes dropping on the ground is here. You press both the trigger buttons to bring up the menu, and then you press the R button to craft, and now I got wood, and you just build. It's Minecraft, and it's on a PSP, and there's actually an impressive amount of stuff that you can do in it. We would have all loved this in 2012. Sadly, it's 2020, and you can get Minecraft on the PlayStation Vita, but I mean, if you want all the PSP stuff and don't want to go through the hassle of modding a PS Vita, you get Minecraft on here along with some gems like Daxter and ATV Offered Fury and Star Wars The Force Unleashed, and you pretty much are good for the rest of your life. At least, that's how I feel about it. And yes, you can obviously save your game. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to show you what Lamecraft looked like because it's kind of nostalgic for me. So here we are, we're dropped into the world. I do like how it kind of highlights things, but yeah, you just have these options, and you build, you delete and you build, and you can turn on fly mode and fly through the sky and whatnot. Now we got two different Terrarias, one that looks more like Terraria. Alright, well that one just crashed. It has more of a mouse to control things, and it's more of the newer Terraria one that I could find. These are very difficult to find, so I'm putting each of them on the PSPs I'm selling, and you can have a go at them. This is the one that I feel like looks more like Terraria. However, I think there's less to do kind of in it. In order to mine, you bring up this grid thing, and then you select kind of where you want to delete a block. I don't know if there's enemies in it. I can't figure out for the life of me how to craft. I'm not even sure if you can save in this one. It's more of an experimental thing to test out. Alright, well I'm going to leave this one for last because this is so impressive that someone put Nazi zombies on the PSP, and it's still under production today. I have both versions of it because one I feel like runs better on the PSP, but then the other one is the newer version that has a lot more going on. The N64 player, it kind of works, but I wanted to open up the GBA player here to show you some GBA games that you kind of only can emulate. So I got this game Motocross Challenge, which is a GBA game that was never released. It got like a limited release like 20 years later, but I never got it, sadly. So I finally have a way of playing it. So surprisingly, it is a lot like ATV
Fury in the fact that you can actually do tricks. Whoops, that's the save state. So yeah, you can have a lot of different save spots. Sorry, I'm trying to remember how to play this because some of these emulators use the control scheme of Japan, where circle is enter. But anyways, the L button is how you pull off tricks, kind of like when you hold down circle or triangle in ATV Off-Road Fury. So it's a really cool GBA game. I wish it got released on the GBA. Then this is Booker, the ebook reader. I have some rebellious pamphlets on here that would surely get me canceled. I am looking for more books other than 1984 that actually came with Booker that you could read on here. You can set bookmarks and stuff to actually keep your place because obviously it's just walls of text. It can read PDFs, I believe, so it would be interesting to put like a comic or manga on here. Then lastly, one of the most important things, the homebrew sorter, which is how you actually keep your games in some kind of order. It's as simple as selecting an item and then dropping where you would like it to go. This is very handy in keeping things in an order that would make it not impossible to find certain things because by default it's just completely random. So this is Nazi Zombies on the PSP. The newer version, just the frame rate isn't as good, but there's more animation to the weapons and there's more maps. So I have both versions. This is the map everyone should know from World at War, and it is still loading. It does have some pretty long loading times. Alright, here we go. As you can see, it is full-on Nazi zombies. But you got the animations, you use you can really customize the controls. I have it where the left analog stick is aim and the buttons are to walk around. You can press the arrow button or the D-pad to like reload and knife stuff. Select is to rebuild in this one. Okay. And there are mystery boxes, and as you can see here, different drinks. I forget what they're called. So I don't know where exactly to put this because I don't want it taking up the length of the video. Alright, I just got enough to go downstairs. Let's go down here. There it is. There's the mystery box, and there's the door that lets you circle back around. I think I'm gonna end this clip here, though, because I don't want this video getting too long. Now, as I said, there's a lot you can do with this, and there's just so much I could go over, but the main selling point for the PSP to me and why it's still awesome in modern day is that you can play physical games while also having a bunch of these games that you can play portably. Like I could have Tony Hawk and ATV Off-Road Fury on the go. Like all these games are some of my favorite games, and to have them on the go is just awesome, along with Minecraft and having the mod to put your own PSP games on there is a super convenience with the PlayStation Store now being closed on the PSP, and along with PlayStation 1 emulation. It's just super handy to have around, and I am super excited to have this and also be able to hopefully get a couple new people into this scene. Now I do have the Skype app and internet radio player. However, the Japanese PSPs actually came with a couple different apps, so you can enter recovery mode and switch your PSP to fake different regions. So now we're on the Japanese PSP screen, and I got the extra apps, even comic reader. Sadly, I don't have any Japanese comics, so this is kind of pointless. These are files that I think it's saying are corrupted because I don't have any Japanese comics. But I have the apps here. Some of them require different attachments, like this radar portable, but I managed to find where all the apps were installed. So I have radar portable here. Sense Me, I think, works. Here's the Sense Me player, which I installed on the PSPs I'm selling. So I hope I'll be able to figure out how to edit this video. I think that's everything I needed to show off here.
So with all those games, you might be wondering how I fit all that, and it's because, as you see, 96 gigabytes are still free, and that is because instead of just getting a PSP memory card, you can get these PSP memory card adapters that allow you to slip in a SIM card or a micro SD card. So I have a 128 micro SD card in this PSP, and it works perfectly fine. You just have to format it. So most people usually only had like 1 gig for their PSP, and now I have 128, so I don't think that's ever going to get filled up. Alright, so welcome to the end of the video. I just wanted to show you again that I have these 2 blue Japanese PSPs in super clean condition. There's no cracks, there's some very minor surface scratches that you can't see with the screens on, which is kind of expected from plastic. Other than that, they're like new, which is why I had to order another one for myself. All the mods are on here. They're both 64 gigabyte though, and not all the games are on there because I felt weird about putting games that you could physically buy and then reselling them. But the homebrew stuff is on here, the emulators are on here, and some other goodies. I also have a bunch of stuff stored on these SD cards that you can find in the files if you did end up wanting to mod them yourself. I am mainly selling these though for people who don't want to go through all the hassle of modding them themselves. Basically everything you need is on here already. But I have a little guide in there, and I have all the emulators that I thought would clutter this space just in a folder. But I do have like the N64 GBA and NES pre-installed. So the only downside to an imported PSP is that these cannot play UMD movies. You can play American UMDs, it's region free, all that good stuff, but there's UMD movies that just don't work in other regions. Most people don't buy movie discs for their PSP, so that I don't think should be a deal breaker for most people, because everything else works, including the game UMDs. So if you want one of these too, you can email me or leave a comment, and then we can email back and forth the details. If these don't sell for around 175 off of YouTube, I'm going to be forced to sell them off eBay, which takes a 15% cut. So that's why I'm going independent currently. If they do get put up on eBay, they'll be $200. So I would get them now. I mean, everything's pre-installed. You won't have to do anything, and they're super clean. Also, they'll come with these brand new chargers, practically new PSPs, and all the mods you could need. If you liked everything that's in this video and would like one of these, again, just send me an email. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.